Good morning. I am at my office getting ready for an interview, so I figured this would be a good time for a life update because it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Good morning. Good morning. I am at my office getting ready for an interview, so I figured this would be a good time for a life update because it's been a minute. It has been a minute. Recently just got back in Atlanta from filming a movie in Houston. Y'all, when I say this movie, it stretched a girl. It stretched me, but I'm really excited about it. Courtney Glade, if you guys have watched the new season of Zatima, he was the writer and one of the directors. He directed this movie. He's from Houston, Texas, and when I say it was great, we had a really, really good time working. Houston is hot though. It was so hot. And I didn't get to experience it like I wanted to, because I hear Houston got the men's. But yeah, so hopefully I can go back and experience Houston in a real way. But yeah, did that, and then what else happened? Got back. Well, no, I didn't get back. I went straight from Houston after being in Houston for a month and not coming home that whole time. I went to Los Angeles for a few meetings and then came back to Atlanta. I also celebrated my birthday in Miami with my friends. I literally had one day off. I worked Friday. They let me off early to get to Miami. Got to Miami, and I literally had like a day with my friends, caught a plane back to Houston, and went to a set that night. And I was like, my Lord, it don't stop. But super grateful. Back in Atlanta now, preparing for the live show. Went straight into podcast mode. I've shot 2 episodes. I'm getting ready to shoot my 3rd episode this week. The first episode was Brian Jordan Jr. from Sisters, as you know. And then I interviewed Funny Marco. Super excited about that one. Didn't have that on my bingo card. He hit me like a year ago saying that he was watching the Tyler Perry episode, and he was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. So he's like, I want to come on your podcast. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like, come on. And time had passed. It may have been more than a year ago, actually. Time had passed, and he reached out to me and said, hey, it's time. And he was like, I want people to see the more serious side of me, know who I really am, and you're the ghetto Oprah, so why not you? And I was like, wow, ghetto Oprah, I'll take it. I will take it. And Oprah, in any kind of way you put it, I'll be that. So took that as a great compliment, but it was an amazing episode to learn more about his story and his past. You just don't know what people go through. You do not know what people go through. So I'm super excited for you all to see that episode. And today I have King J. Barnett. That's right. He's doing amazing things in the mental health space for men and women alike, but especially men, and giving them a voice and a safe place to land and a good soundboard. So yeah, what else has been happening in my life? Getting ready for my first live show outside of Atlanta. It's been crazy. Super excited about that. We are getting ready for that. The guests have been finalized. I'm super excited. It's going to be a really good time. What else we got going on? It's the holidays, so a lot of foundation work. And still in my Bible. I think it's week 15, if I'm not mistaken. Week 15 in the Bible. Super excited about continuing to grow closer to God and build that relationship with Him. I will say that every morning when I'm reading, something is revealed to me, and it's just beautiful when you pray for God to reveal His word and what it's supposed to be for you. And my main thing for this season has been pursuing Him, staying in constant pursuit of Jesus Christ. And man, I tell you, He has been showing up in ways I could have never imagined. You gotta be careful what you ask for. I be asking the Lord to speak through me, and sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, who was that? Because I always ask Him to give me the words to say, whatever it is that you want me to say in this moment, because you don't know what people need to hear. So just grateful for further strengthening that relationship. I read something yesterday. I want to say it was in Psalms 29. I posted it on my story, but it was basically God saying, come and talk to me, like Him wanting that intimate time with us. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I had a premonition this morning about, just falling from grace and God always being there, and reading in Judges how the Israelites continued to turn away from God and God would be angry. And then as soon as they would start begging for His help and mercy, He would come back. And I thought about that. I was like, He's literally like how my Father cannot hold a grudge towards me in real life. Our Heavenly Father doesn't either. And He's just always there waiting for us to pursue Him and to be with Him and talk to Him. And I was talking to a friend of mine who recently turned his life over to Christ. And he's like, I'm struggling with the consistency. I'm trying to stay in my word. But it's hard. And I was like, I said, you have children. I was like, think about your children. I said, imagine, because he was talking about how hard it is. The first thing he wants to do is pick up his phone. And I was like, imagine you waking up and you walk in the kitchen and the chef is in there cooking breakfast for your kids, and they're in this beautiful home that you have worked so hard to provide for them, and they don't speak to you in the morning. They're too busy on their phones to even acknowledge you. How would you feel? And he said, oh my goodness. I said, that's exactly how God feels. And he said, got it. So just saying, I know we live in a world where we are attached to our phones. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce. But when we wake up, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, I've definitely been there for real. And honestly, in September, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in September, I took a sabbatical and I took time off of Instagram. Well, all social media. I took time off. The only time I posted was when I had to post something for work where I had to get on, but I immediately logged off. Just, not logged off, but I used Buffer. It's this app that you can use to post what you need to post. Because you gotta be honest, part of my livelihood is social media, and the work calls for me to post sometimes. But in that time, God, just cutting it off and being detached from that did so much for my soul, y'all. I can't even explain it. I didn't realize how much I needed that. We don't understand how distracted we are when we're constantly on our phones, So I advise anyone, who is on this app or any social media to just take a break sometimes, or even set yourself a time limit of the day, how long you should be on it. I have a 2-hour daily limit of social media all across the board for all platforms. And once I hit that limit, that's it, When I first started it, I kept hitting that ignore button, but now I've been more disciplined after the fast to be like, all right, that's it. You get no more of my time. And in that time, I realized how glued to our phones we are. We look around the room and everybody be just stuck to their phone. I'm like, nobody's present. Nobody's present anymore. So I want to challenge you, just to take breaks for yourself, for your family, just to be present, because we don't realize how consuming our phones are, even with work, emails, like all the things, like we are completely attached to our phones all the time.